Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of James Allen Lane. Lane was shot and killed on Tuesday, June 28, 2005, in the 1900 block of West Washington Boulevard in Harvard Heights, according to LA County coroner records. Bill Lennon, Evan Thornton, Liddell Powell, and Tyrone Baldwin were subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. A man named Malcolm and his girlfriend Trina rented an apartment on LaSalle Street. The apartment manager said there was always a lot of traffic coming in and out of the apartment. He believed it was being used to sell drugs. On June 28, 2005, Mr. Jones and victim James Lane were in the apartment. Through one of the apartment's security cameras, Jones saw three men walking around the outside of the apartment. Jones went outside to see what the men were doing. He saw the men get into a driver-occupied navy blue Suburban and drive away. Jones returned to the apartment. A short time later, Jones and the victim set out on foot to a nearby gas station to buy a cigar. As they walked, the Suburban slowly passed by. Shortly thereafter, Jones saw the three men he had seen on the surveillance camera walking toward him and the victim. The men looked like they were looking for trouble. Jones suggested to the victim that they turn around and return to the apartment. As they turned, one of the three men said, "Hey." Jones then heard a gunshot and saw the victim fall. Jones ran back to the apartment as fast as he could. As he ran, he heard two more shots. A witness was nearby in his car at the time of the shooting. He saw three males. One of the males crept up behind the victim and shot him. The shooter walked quickly toward the gas station. The victim lay motionless on the ground. The witness thought the best thing he could do was to see where the three men went. The witness went to the gas station and saw a dark blue Suburban drive away at a high rate of speed. He called the police and gave a description of the three men in the Suburban. When the police arrived, they found the victim on the ground, dead from a single gunshot wound. He was shot just above the left ear from behind, from 1 to 3 feet away. He still had his wallet on him with $704.93 in cash, his wristwatch, a yellow metal ring, 2 cell phones, a baggie containing what appeared to be marijuana, and other miscellaneous items. The Suburban was registered to defendant Lennon's girlfriend. He called her about an hour after the shooting and said that he was going to be gone for a while. When he called her a second time, she told him the police were about to search the apartment. He lived in the apartment with her. He told her not to let the police in. Defendant Lennon is a Rollin 20s gang member. Police found his fingerprints along with the fingerprints of another Rollin 20s gang member, defendant Evan Thornton, on the outside of the Suburban. In defendant Lennon's apartment, police found marijuana, a handgun, and a sketch of Malcolm's apartment. Later in the day, after the victim had been killed, Malcolm's apartment manager heard a sound like a door being kicked in. The manager went to investigate. He saw 10 men outside the door to Malcolm's apartment. They were kicking in the door. At least 2 of the men were armed. One of the men pointed a gun at the manager and asked what he was going to do about it. The manager replied, "I'm not going to do nothing." The manager stayed where he was because he didn't want the men to think that he was leaving to call the police. He saw the men enter Malcolm's apartment and carrying things out. As the men were leaving, they threw bricks through the window of Jones's car. They were laughing. One of the men said, "If you come back, you'll get some more of this." Defendants Evan Thornton, Tyrone Baldwin, and Liddell Powell, all Rollin 20s gang members, were arrested in connection with the murder. While the men were in jail waiting arraignment, the police recorded their conversations. Defendant Thornton named defendant Lennon as the driver of the Suburban. He said he was sorry he had not taken Lennon's advice to hide. Defendant Thornton further stated that he had gotten defendant Baldwin to handle the victim, who had been dealing drugs in the Rollin 20s territory. Defendant Bill Lennon was arrested a year later. Following his trial, the jury found Bill Lennon guilty of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder and burglary. The jury also found true the gun and gang allegations. The court sentenced him to 75 years to life. Following their trial, the jury acquitted Liddell Powell, but found Evan Thornton guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, and attempted murder, and found true the gun and gang allegations. The court sentenced him to 75 years to life. Following his trial, the jury convicted Tyrone Baldwin of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and found true the gun and gang allegations. It acquitted him of the attempted murder. The court sentenced him to 50 years to life. James Allen Lane was 31 years old at the time of death.